Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com. It's the weekend, baby, and this is the Saturday version of Today in Sports Betting, taking a look at the NBA. Should be short and sweet, Scotty, like Denver's hopes to win the West right now.
Well, I know that we were talking about value on the NBA show at 9-1. I said if the Lakers win game one, you might find probably, I don't even know, 11-1, 12-1. You know, people are absolutely selling all the Nugget stock they had. I don't know. Game one also went terribly in their series against the Clippers, and they ended up coming back. But
950.
Believe it or not, the
950.
Lakers are just bigger than they are. And
Yeah.
I feels like the Nuggets are kind of screwed.
It certainly looked that way. They hung with them a little bit early in the first half. Ended up
Referees didn't help because everyone got into foul trouble as well. But
what's that?
I said the referees didn't help. Everyone got into foul trouble on Denver in the first half.
Yeah, very true. Murray and Jokic especially. Jokic, no 3-point shots, dude. That troubles me. No 3-point shots. Got to the line just 7 times. That ain't good. And on the other side, Anthony Davis absolutely did anything he wanted to.
Yep. That's what I said was going to happen in the series, is the fact that the Lakers are somebody who can actually guard Jokic, and Jokic did play well offensively, but defensively he cannot match up with Anthony Davis at all.
Nope. And I think that's going to be a problem. You know, I really thought the outside shooting, I thought their outside game would be able to cover for it, but the Lakers actually had a lot of speed on the court, man.
I said Lakers in 5. It might even be Lakers in 4. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Nuggets could potentially make a run, but at the end of the day, LeBron was too much to handle. Even though he didn't score that much, he still did whatever he wanted, setting up teammates, etc., and rebounding as well. Dwight was ridiculous in the game today off the bench. He was great. I had him in my DFS lineups. Actually worked out pretty well. Rondo was quiet, but he did what Rondo does, which is provide solid minutes from the point guard spot and work from there.
He's got 9 dimes. You know, it's not a bad night.
I also didn't expect Caldwell Pope to drop like 18 points, which was a pleasant surprise for the Lakers. But I don't know. At some point, the game was close. You look up in the middle of the second quarter, it's a 2-point game. You look back up, Lakers are up 20.
Yeah.
And that's basically how the game worked out.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happened to me. I was mainly watching football on this one and checking in with the basketball game. So, yeah, maybe not quite as entertaining as fun as we thought it was going to be. By the way, plus 950 on the Nugs. If you
okay, so it went from 9. Wait, so it went from 9-1 to 950 to 1.
Talk about the series.
No, I'm talking about. I thought we said we're talking about championship. I thought you said.
Oh, for the actual championship.
We went to 9-1 on the Nuggets to win the championship. Yes,
1,600.
That's what I thought. Okay, so it ended up basically doubling, which does not surprise me. But yeah, it went from 9-1 to 16-1. Sounds about right.
Lakers are now a ridiculous minus 280.
Oh, we were talking about that, and we said, is there value on Miami, or should you wait? And it turns out if you like Miami, well, you can probably take it now.
Now's the time. Yeah, 4-1 on Miami.
Question is, if Miami loses tomorrow, the game we're going to be talking about, or should I say Saturday, because we're doing it for today, of course.
Right.
Where does the line go? And I think the line would probably go to around maybe 5-1.
550, yeah.
Maybe, but if they win, they're going what, to like
250?
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, 250.
I think that might be a little bit low. I was going to say around
maybe 275.
Something like that. But I don't know. Really, I mean, we're going to go into the game. I don't know if you have a premium on it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing for my free play yet, so I'm going to talk about everything. But
all right. Excellent. Yeah, I was
I'm leaning Miami. So that's my thought. Sorry to jump the gun there, but in reality, there's only one game we're talking about. It's not like there was a spoiler with regard to the game. Yeah, I'm going with Miami because Boston's shown me nothing that involves them competing with this team for a full 48 minutes. I know they lost in overtime in game 1. They had a massive lead in game 2, ended up falling apart. Miami's just better and deeper, and they just I don't want to say they run more sophisticated sets, but I feel like Boston does a ton of isolation basketball late in games. And Miami's just endless screens around the perimeter, and they're just impossible to guard.
Yep, and if somebody eventually pops open, and they make a lot of them.
You know what Boston does late in games? They're going to give the ball to Tatum. They're going to give the ball to Kemba and say, do something. And it's like, all right, cool. You're going to do some random pick and roll at the top of the key, and then someone's going to take a pull-up jump shot. And Miami's like, all right, cool. We're going to set a pick and roll here, back screen here. You're going to come around off the corner. Then we're going to fake that, do like a flare screen. I'm like, We get it. You know exactly what you're doing, and Boston, you're clearly more sophisticated offensively than Boston is. I think Miami is the most sophisticated offense in the league, just based on all the nuances that they throw in there. With
Yeah, they do. They do. Spoelstra. I don't know how you could underrate him. But,
very Golden State-ish. Very Golden
yeah,
State.
yeah, very true. I'm gonna play the total here, Scott. I'm looking. I think they finally dropped this. I think they finally dropped this total low enough where I have some interest in it.
Well, that means we're leaning over, so that's what that means.
It's down to 206.5. Yeah, I'm thinking.
They finally lowered this total, so I have a thought on this total. Thanks a lot. I think I figured out where you're going with that. I think you're leaning.
Well, just saying. I can't have it a secret forever. But they played. They've played 207 last time out, and I feel like they left some points.
It was 207 on the 59-point first quarter.
What's that?
It was 207 with a 59-point first quarter.
Yeah, I understand. And
that's what I'm saying. So after the first quarter, the game completely plummeted.
Right, but there's every game they played, they've had one of those quarters.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Yeah, are they going to average 52 points every quarter and come out at 208? No, probably not.
But my question for you is, in terms of totals or in spreads, what adjustments do you think Boston's going to make in Game 3? Because I said for Game 2, I don't expect Kanter to play at all. And Kanter played. He played well offensively. He was awful as usual defensively because he can't guard a pick and roll to save his life.
See, and that's one of the things I'm counting on. I'm counting on Brad Stevens maybe plugging Kanter in for a few more minutes because he's played.
Oh, you want Kanter to play because for an over, he's fantastic.
That's what I'm saying. And that's kind of what I'm counting on because he's played 10 and 11 minutes, and he's the only one that's had any kind of offensive ability inside at all for this Boston team.
Yeah.
And I think you have to maybe make some adjustments on the defensive side of the ball, and live with his defense there, and pick your spots to put him in. So
I think it's tricky. I said for Game 2 they should be using Grant Williams at the center, and they should be going extremely small. They did it briefly for about 10 minutes in Game 2. It worked really well, and they stopped doing it. I kind of disagree with you. I think that they're going to play Kanter less, and I think they're going to play Grant Williams a lot more. Do I think it's the right move? Maybe. Maybe not. But as of right now, Miami's offense, I know that you can talk about Miami's defense and how Boston couldn't handle a zone. Miami's offense also is just extremely consistent, and they seem to get the same amount of production every minute of all 48 minutes. They just know exactly what they're running all the time. And yeah. Boston, I think the only way they can combat that is going small because Miami's going to run a ton of picks on and off ball, and you have to switch everything. And if you have Kanter on the floor, you're basically admitting that you're screwed because he cannot switch on to any ball handler on the perimeter. So I disagree. I think Grant Williams has to play a lot more, and I think Kanter might not play. But I thought that in Game 2 when he played. So I don't know.
If there's one thing that Brad Stevens has shown, that he's very hard-headed.
There's a stubbornness to it. So
it's a lot like Nick Nurse, just going down with the ship up there, refusing to make any kind of real adjustments. So
I don't know about that. I think Nurse made a decent amount of adjustments actually, because he ended up bringing in Thomas a little bit in Game 7, which nobody really saw coming and stuff like that. So he'll actually tinker with the rotations. I don't know. Stevens, I love him as a coach, but he has this fascination to stick with something that might work for 3 minutes, but then he'll keep it for 10 minutes and the whole thing unravels. And I feel like that's what happened with Kanter. It was very good for like a quick 3-minute boost, but the longer you kept him in, the more he got exposed. And you just kept him in too long, in my opinion.
Well, we should see. They had very, very similar numbers, except, of course, Williams scored nothing.
Correct, but if you look at the plus minuses, then Williams basically was the same thing as Kanter.
Right. And they played the same amount of minutes. The difference is, Kanter scored 9 points.
I understand. I'm talking about from a plus-minus perspective. The thing that Boston's going to have to do is they're going to have to sacrifice offense for defense.
Kanter was 7 and Williams was 9.
Yeah. So. I'm just saying what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to sacrifice offense for defense because Williams is not offensively talented at all. Kanter is. We know that. Right. But the issue is defensively. If Kanter is in the game, Boston's absolutely going to get demolished in the pick and roll, and Williams can actually guard somebody, kind of like a poor man's PJ Tucker, in a way.
Well, when he first brought Kanter in, Adebayo was having a blow, and I think that worked out pretty well. He didn't, he came back pretty quickly, but I think for the first 2 or 3 minutes, Adebayo was on the bench there. So
That's a fine substitution if you want to make it at the time. But I'm saying when Adebayo's in the game, I don't think you can use Cantor.
all right, good
My
enough. Okay, so I'm going over. What are you doing?
For me, I'm leaning Miami and I'm leaning to the under. I think Williams will play more. I'm trying to. That's the issue, though, is that you have to try to predict what these basketball coaches are going to think.
Right.
And based on everything that I've seen from the Celtics and their limited rotation and their limited depth, the only potential move that I think Stevens can make is to give Grant Williams more minutes, because Tice is not getting anything done.
Nope.
So you got to try something. And I think going small might actually work out.
All right.
My opinion. So for that reason, I think Grant Williams will play more, which should lead to less points. I'll lean to the under. And I think Miami, despite the moves with Williams, I think the Celtics will keep it close. But I still think Miami is just too much to handle. And I'm going to go with Miami. Because if Williams does play a lot, Miami should dominate the boards.
Agreed.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with Miami.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's our picks for this one. We'll see what happens. It should be a fun game. A lot of college football on, a little NBA as well. So
got hockey on tomorrow as well. First game of the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody really cares because it's Tampa versus Dallas, but I'm saying that is another sport on TV. And you got UFC at night.
Terrific. Again, like I said, got the NBA on, and you got some college basketball, football. So
yep, pretty much covers everything.
All right.
And baseball for our next show.
That's right. And yeah, make sure you click on that next video because it'll be Scott and I taking a look at the MLB for Saturday. But for this one, this is a wrap for the NBA part of this show. So for myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at Winners and Winers, telling you, get over there and check out Winners and Winers. You know the drill. I don't have to tell you every time. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.